Hey, BYHYU! Welcome to episode 59 of Build Your House Yourself University. I'm Michelle Nelson, your host and fellow student, and together we'll learn the basics of home design and construction and demystify the building process so we can build quality dream homes with or without a general contractor. Last week, we talked about creating wow factor on the inside of your house. This week, we'll delve into what we can do to our home's exterior to add curb appeal. Now, remember, you shouldn't include features in, on, or around your home just to impress others. Instead, design a home that inspires you and your family, and build one that you're proud of. And just by doing that, you'll often increase your home's value. We'll go over the first part of our list this week and finish the list next week. Before we go any further, we need to define this week's pro terms. Our pro terms this week are Portico and Cochere. A portico is a small roof covering a door of a house. It's supported by columns and creates a covered porch, entrance, or walkway. Porticos are not only stylish additions to a house, but they're also functional. Porticos provide shelter outside an entrance where you're protected from the elements while finding a key or welcoming guests. Porticos also offer protection to the home itself by keeping rain, snow, and wind off of the door and hardware. A porte-cochere is a large roofed structure covering a driveway at the front or side entrance of a house. It provides shelter while entering or leaving a vehicle. Take a look at the show notes at BYHYU.com to see pictures of a portico and porte-cochere. If you're listening in iTunes, just tap the cover art and you'll see a link to the website. All right, moving on to this week's mini lesson. We'll cover the first part of a list of things we can do to our homes to increase its curb appeal. Number 1, combining contrasting but coordinating colors. There are certain times when a monochromatic color scheme can be beautiful, but the exterior of most houses looks much more interesting when it has 2 or 3 coordinating but contrasting colors. The thing to keep in mind is that for the greatest curb appeal, there should be contrast between the colors. If you use colors that are too similar, nothing will pop. Think about a house that's white and cream, or one that has several shades of tan. I mean, that's fine, but those homes really aren't very distinctive. Typically, the body of a house should be one color and the trim another. You might also want to add a third accent color, maybe on the door or shutters. But a general rule of thumb is to stop at 3 colors. More than that can look too busy. If you're having trouble deciding what colors you want for your house, take a ride around a few neighborhoods and see what colors you're drawn to. Or search pictures of homes on house.com or Pinterest. Plus, paint stores will usually have inspirational color combinations available for you to choose from. Number 2, add dimension. There are a few people who prefer that the front of a house be completely one-dimensional and flat, but most of us are drawn to exteriors with dimension and depth. Dimension is one of those things that your eye is drawn to without you even realizing it. A completely flat house can be commercial looking and boring. When you look at a non-dimensional house, you often think, I can't put my finger on it, but something's missing. You can make a house more dimensional by designing it with areas that stick out from the main body of the house, adding a portico to the entry, for example, or by including architectural elements such as box or bay windows, awnings, overhangs, dormers, chimneys, or cantilevers. Okay, pop quiz. What is a cantilever? Cantilever was our pro term in episode 17 called Size Matters, but So Does Design. 20 design and construction features that can save you money when building a new house. Well, a cantilever is a structure that extends outward from a wall on a house, usually about 2 feet or so. It's simply a bump out that projects from the side of a house. Cantilever designs can increase the space in a room without having to expand the home's footprint. And cantilevers can give dimension to a house. Texture can also make a house dimensionally more interesting. That's one of the reasons adding stone accents to a house is so popular. Number 3, make a statement with your front door. The front door plays a big part in your home's first impression. It's a great place to express your personality and the style of the house. But keep in mind, the door should complement the home's architecture and scale. The most common exterior door materials today are wood, fiberglass composite, steel, and glass. No matter what they're made of, an oversized single entry door or double entry doors often give the house a grander, more formal look than you typically get from a standard 32 or 36-inch front door. Glass or wood doors also tend to have a grander, higher-end feel. Wood is one of the more common choices for front doors today, especially in custom-built homes. Modern wood doors are usually made of outer layers of wood veneers, and the wood veneers cover a wood or steel core. This type of construction minimizes warping and decreases the cost of the door as compared to a solid wood door. Look for furniture-grade veneers that are at least 1/16 of an inch thick. If the veneers are any thinner than that, they can be easily damaged. Homeowners usually choose wood doors because they like the look of the stained wood. But if you prefer a painted door, consider a steel or fiberglass door. Fiberglass composite doors are affordable, and if you get a good quality one, they're durable too. They rarely need touch-ups, and their foam core makes them pretty energy efficient, so they perform well in harsh climates. Steel doors are fairly inexpensive. They're strong, they won't crack or warp, but they can dent. Minor dents can be repaired, but you may need to replace the entire door if you have large dents. Depending on the core, a steel door can be energy efficient, but steel conducts heat, so it's not ideal for extreme climates. Whatever material you choose, select a coordinating door and stylish hardware to add to the curb appeal of your house. If you're going with a painted door, choose a statement color that's unique but not garish. Again, take a look at sites like Pinterest or House.com for ideas. Number 4, select unique address numbers. Your house numbers are a way to set your home apart from others. You can add some personality to the front of your house with your address numbers. Make your numbers large and bold so that they make a statement that can easily be seen. You might even decide to get illuminated numbers. Depending on the type of lot you have, you could mount your address numbers in the ground, in your front yard, or have your address carved or painted on a large stone that you can set in your yard. Consider having custom numbers made by a local artist or someone on Etsy. You could have individual numbers made or have your address put on a plaque. Here's a quick tip. Before you order your address numbers, do a mock-up. Cut out a template of paper or cardboard and tape the paper numbers up where you plan on permanently placing them. Then take a look at the house from the street. Make sure that the numbers are large enough to be read and that they don't overwhelm the entrance. And number 5, add lighting. Your house should be attractive during the day and at night. The main way to make your house beautiful at night is to add lighting. People wonder whether they should add up lighting or down lighting. In up lighting, landscape lights are mounted at or near ground level, and they shine upward. Up lighting can be used to highlight columns, beautiful stonework, or trees and large plants in your yard. Up lighting adds drama. With down lighting, you place lights high up on the house, in trees, or on other tall structures so that the light shines downward. The higher the light, the wider space it tends to illuminate. Low-growing flowers and plants need downlighting to show off their tops. You can also place downlights along seating walls and pathways for ambiance and to make sure that your guests have adequate light. Moonlighting is a specific type of downlighting that looks like moonlight. A light fixture is placed high up in the trees and angled downward. With the light shining down through the branches, it looks like natural moonlight and creates shadows of the tree's branches and leaves. The lighting plan that adds the most curb appeal will include both downlighting and uplighting. If you use downlighting only or uplighting only, you can see lines of demarcation where the light stops. If you use uplighting and downlighting together, you won't really be able to see where one light source ends and the other begins. You'll only see beautiful, natural-looking light. Carriage lights, which look like lanterns, and sconces can add curb appeal to your garage and front entry. Consider having a landscape lighting consultation during your planning stages. That way, you can ask your electrician to hardwire for your outdoor lights. You may also want to inform your gas company if you want to add gas lanterns. Well, that's the first half of our list of things you can do to increase your home's curb appeal. Come back next week for the second part of the list. If you've just stumbled upon this podcast and you found it helpful, you can subscribe to the show so that new episodes will automatically be downloaded to you. And you'll always be able to find them under the My Podcasts tab in iTunes. Just tap the 3 small dots at the bottom right of the iTunes screen to subscribe. You can tap those 3 dots also if you want an opportunity to share this episode, either on social media or with someone that you think might need this information. Okay, let's do a few quiz questions to test and review the information we just covered. Number 1. What is the large roofed structure covering a driveway at the front or side entrance of a house? Is it a portico or a Cochere? The answer, Cochere. A Cochere is a large structure that covers the driveway, providing shelter while entering or leaving a vehicle. A portico is a small roofed structure that covers a door. Number 2. Which of the following is not a way to add dimension or depth to a house? A. Portico. B. Cantilever. C. Uplighting. Or D. Awnings. The answer is C. Uplighting. Uplighting adds curb appeal, but not because it adds dimension to the house. Making a house dimensional means making some areas or features protrude away from the main structure of the house, so the house is not completely flat. Number 3, true or false? For the greatest curb appeal, you should stick strictly to uplighting because adding downlighting is overkill. That's false. True enough, you don't want your house to be so lit up that it looks like a baseball stadium at night, but you do want sufficient light for safety, beauty, and a little drama. For the greatest curb appeal, combine uplighting with downlighting so you can't really see where one light source ends and the other begins. When you combine down and uplighting, you get a more natural look. Remember also to add carriage lights or sconces to highlight your entry or garages. Please remember that the purpose of this podcast is simply to educate and inform. It's not a substitute for professional advice. The information that you hear is based only on the opinions, research, and experiences of my guests and myself. That information might be incomplete, it's subject to change, and it may not apply to your project. In addition, building codes and requirements vary from region to region, so always consult a professional about specific recommendations for your home. Thank you for joining me this week. Let's do it again next week. I hope you'll come back for another episode of Build Your House Yourself University. BYHYU.